Line's good.
Never on!
Whoa.
Hard! Hardly.
Come on, Brent. Line's good. Got real close. Got hair high, right? Trying to hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Welcome to Game of the Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham Scott. Alongside, as always, hello, Scott.
Sean, hello. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. A little frustrated earlier with some around the house things. But,
that'll do it.
That happens sometimes. So, just trying to, focus on the things I can control.
And you know what, Sean? We're very fortunate to be able to have a nice home to live in, and the minor headaches that come along with it, the grand scheme of it, don't really amount to much.
That's true. So I'm also getting set. I'm traveling this week. I'm going from the heat of Ottawa to the heat of France.
Oh, la canicule.
Yes. It's a work trip. So, gotta go. It's something I enjoy doing, but I think based on the long range, Scott, I know you're the meteorologist. I just got to get through next Tuesday night. And my thing is really the evenings. If it's really hot during the day, like I can deal with it. Like it's fine. You change the workflow, if you will. But I just want to be able to sleep, and nowhere where we go has air conditioning. So, mid-teens at the highest in the evening is what I want. If I can see a below-teen number, then I get very excited. But from the last time I looked, it was just get through next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the key number to look at, Sean. You're right, is the overnight low. So, that's, I'm looking at Ypres.
Yeah, up in Belgium.
Yeah. Wednesday night 16, Thursday 14. Yeah. I think if you can get through that, that's where you want to be.
Yeah. So
Tuesday looks hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be warm, and we'll make it work. Fortunately, at one point we're going under the ground in the middle of the day, which is great.
Ooh, that's good.
Nature's air conditioning. So
is the bus air conditioned?
Yeah, it takes a long time though for it to get cool. So, if we're somewhere for a couple hours and it's sitting, I think Beaumont Amel, it just sits in the sun for a couple hours when we're out there. It gets a little toasty,
a little sweaty.
Yeah. So I'm going on a battlefield tour. I lead battlefield tours of the Western Front, and in the summer we throw in the Normandy beaches as well. So going off to do that, and should be a good time. Maybe
you'll get a little sea breeze.
Yeah, the Dieppe place is always good. We stay on the beach in Dieppe. Mm-hmm. And it's great. You get that sea air, open windows. The only thing is those seagulls start at like 4:30.
Real early.
Yeah. So, pros and cons.
Yeah. When I lived in Victoria, that was the, oh my God, so loud in the morning.
Yeah. So we might have a show next week. You're going to work on something, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to work on something. No promises, because I'm off next week as well. But I'm staying around the home front. Just going to chill. Maybe go see a movie or whatever. Read.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe do
normal. The show. They do normal things. They eat. They read. They read?
They read?
They read.
What are they reading?
All right. So, Scott, we got some news last week that it wasn't earth-shattering, I didn't think, but it was something that prompted an episode idea. But before we get into sort of the full crux of the idea, we have to, sadly, bid a fond farewell, a happy Charles, to the PointsBet Invitational. It was a mighty run for the PointsBet Invitational, but alas, a big TV curling event in mid-September was just not in the cards. And who knows, maybe we'll look back on this in 20 years and it was just ahead of its time. But for now, the Points Bet Invitational is going to the big Bonspiel in the sky.
Sorry, excuse me while I wipe away a tear. You know, I like to think, Sean, that the Points Bet Invitational lived or died as she lived. With nobody hearing that much about it.
Yeah, so Curling Canada last week, in announcing the final spots for the Scotties and the Brier, with the lineup changes and everything, they confirmed the pre-qualified teams for that. Taylor Reese Hansen, Scott, good for you there. As someone who picked them to make the playoffs last year, they're in the field. That's right. Next year. So they made that announcement and they tagged on at the bottom of it, Points Bet Invitational not going to happen anymore. So that event is done. And it got us to thinking, and we couldn't remember if we had done this on the show. And we look back and we haven't done a full episode on it. Maybe we talked about doing an episode or we talked about some of the things. But I went back and I looked, and I might be missing some too, but I found 12 events that are defunct in the world of curling. So we thought it'd be fun to go back, talk about these 12 events and rank them. Which ones do we miss the most? Which ones do we miss the least? And just do a little bit of a, walk down memory lane of the events that were either too good to last or ideas that weren't sustainable, or who knows why any host of these things happen.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Scott, in no particular order, these are just the order that I thought of them and pulled them up on my sheet here.
Let's do that.
All right. The first one that I have here is the Continental Cup.
Yes, the Continental Cup.
So the Continental Cup was the big event, a team event between Canada and the United States, so North America against Europe or the world, depending on the year. Started in 2002 in Regina, and the original format had this very crazy point system where it was the first to 201 points. And then over time, it got down to something more reasonable where each game was worth 1 point until the skins game at the end. So the way it would work is you'd have four-person games, and then you'd have mixed games where the teams would all be mixed up together for the first few days of the competition. The final day was skins, and it was always a lot of fun. At the later part of the Continental Cup, they had mixed doubles involved as well, but the point of it was kind of just like a fun spiel. You could see the players in a more social environment, see people play with people who they don't normally play with. It was pretty chill. One of the loudest buildings I've ever been in for curling was 2016 in Vegas at the Continental Cup, when you have John Morris make the shot to win, which came 15 seconds after Kevin Cooey missed the shot to win on the adjacent sheet. And the place went nuts, which is pretty exciting. It was after the North American team had a huge lead going into that final draw, and the Europeans just chipped away until it actually came down to the eighth end. Yeah. So that was kind of fun. And the final version of the Continental Cup did take place back in 2020 in London, Ontario. And Scott, we were there, I think.
In 2020? I don't think I went in 2020.
No?
We went to one in London, but I think it was
2018?
The 2018 one I went to. You might have gone to the 2021, but
no, it would have been the 2018 one then. Actually, looking at the score, I do remember that because it did come down to a draw to the button.
Yeah.
And the North American team won by 0.5 point there. Yeah. So it was the 2018 when we were at there, but it was the North Americans who the Europeans, my apologies, who will forever be the defending champions of the Continental Cup, having won the final two editions.
How many, what is the overall record for, let's call it Team North America / Canada versus Europe / the world?
All right, so I'm going to have to count these up here. So in total, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 editions between 2002 and 2020. We have to throw out 3 ties because there were 3 ties: 2004, 2006, and 2007. I believe that meant that the team retained the cup, very Ryder Cup-ish.
I think Bud Selig came in and said we can't have ties, and so fixed it.
Yeah. So if we say North America and the world, so now we're down to 13 editions, eliminating the ties. Europe/world won in 2003, 2008, 2019, and 2020. So that would be 9, 4, and 3 for the Canadians.
Wow.
Canadian/North American, excuse me. Canada
Yes.
on its own won in 2015. It was just Canada.
But the rest of the wins were North America.
North America, correct.
Yeah. Good. I think overall this event I think was just a lot of fun, and I think the curlers liked it.
Yeah.
But it came at a time right after the holiday break when a lot of teams would have been going into their their provincials or their national playdowns kind of thing, and so the teams that they selected in the later stages were the teams that had already qualified for national events or for international events. So in that sense, it was like their chance to do a tune-up before going to play against some of these very teams, in world or national championships. So since the sort of increased drumbeat and availability of spiels in that time frame, this one made sense from an overall perspective to be the one that got cut, because there wasn't, there was money on the line for sure, but it was a lot more relaxed, like you said.
Yeah.
I think having it in Vegas was like a really good idea, and the editions that took place outside of Vegas were not as well attended, but I mean, the fans in London did show up. It's just a smaller building.
Right.
So I think if you can do this once every 4 years and go to Vegas for it, people make a weekend of it. It's pretty fun. It doesn't need to be a full week like other curling events. So I think that was a lot of its success.
Yeah,
and then,
I agree, because we've seen in Vegas, the full week events in Vegas haven't worked as well.
Right, because you got 2 weekends.
Yep.
The hotel there is not that expensive, but everything's going up now, and staying for a full week in Vegas, you can it feels longer.
Yes. Yeah. I spent a week there one night.
Yeah. Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
So I think sad to see that event go, but overall, will we miss it that much? Probably not.
All right, Scott, let's move on to the next one. The Curling World Cup, which took place in 2018-2019. This had 4 legs to it. The first 3 legs were individual spiels, and then the grand final. These were national events where teams from each country in men's, women's, and mixed doubles would go. There'd be a double round robin to get into the final. And then the final would take place, and points were accumulated for the country over the course of the event. So 2 of them took place in China. The other ones took place at other places. One was in Jönköping, Sweden, and the other one was Omaha in the United States. The other 2 were in China, including the grand final. Overall, your champions were Jennifer Jones on the women's side, Kevin Cooey on the men's side, and the team of Skasley and Nedergraten on the mixed doubles, the Norwegian team there. Only did it the 1 year. My understanding, Scott, is that this was something that was very much invested in by Chinese investors in the lead in to the 2022 Beijing Olympic Games. That this was something that they were doing to help one, hopefully drum up interest in the sport, but also improve China's competitive stake in the sport. After Bing Wang retired right after her world championship, not that much success internationally. So I think that was part of the motivation behind it. Didn't really work that well, and we only had the 1 year.
Yeah, we had the 1 year, Sean. I just looked on our archive. We have like 15 episodes that mention the World Cup in it somewhere.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of fodder out of it.
Yeah, we definitely did previews, I think, of each one, recaps of each one.
Yeah.
Probably talked about it when it was announced, when it died.
There's one emergency mini pod. Curling World Cup is dead.
That one probably doesn't have any music.
Probably not. That was before our music, our music stuff. So
yeah,
like we got quite a bit of juice out of it, but yeah, it seemed like a gimmick at the time, and we saw that once the investors weren't seeing really that much interest, it follow the money and that'll give you the answer. But yeah, so if we're ranking these, Sean, I think we're ranking these events, right? Yeah. World Cup is at the bottom for me, and Continental Cup above.
I agree. Yeah, I think the Continental Cup was better than the World Cup for sure. All right, let's move on, Scott, to the Champions Cup, also known as the Coyote Tractor Champions Cup. This was the final event of the Grand Slam of Curling season for 8 years. It had 15 teams in it. Typically, 13 of those spots were filled by teams that won Grand Slam of Curling events or other events, including world, national, regional championships, those sorts of things. And then they usually had to go down into some of the bigger cash events on tour because of multiple winners. So this was always late into the season as well. Sometimes it stretched into May. As I said, we had 8 editions of this starting in 2016, ending in 2023. Your defending champions, Brendan Botcher and Rachel Homan. And Scott, I think the big thing for this event was the big prize money that came along with it. By the end, it was $105,000 for the winning team for winning the Champions Cup. And I think the challenge of this one for me was that it was so late in the season. It was after the World Championships had ended, then the Players Championship, and then they threw this Champions Cup on there. And it just felt for me like why? I think we even had a episode once entitled like, how is the season not over yet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because when you said the Champions Cup, I was like, oh yeah, that thing in Toronto. But no, that's the Players.
Correct.
Yeah. So like Champions Cup. Yeah. Our episode was called Champions Cup. Is the season over yet?
Yeah.
And one that says the season's not over ? A look at this week's Champions Cup. So if like I'm even having trouble recollecting what it was, then yeah, that it sort of reminds me of a bit of the Rock League in that it's trying to do something at the end of the year that will get players excited by offering a big payday. But the problem is the fans are kind of a little burnt out at the time. Yeah. So I like that they're trying something different with Rock League, mixing up the teams, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we've proven that a regular style Bonspiel doesn't work. See Champions Cup.
Right.
So maybe something new will. Like, you're right. By the time it's May,
shut it down. Let's go outside, people.
Let's turn off the ice plant. Let's save the environment and go play some golf.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, Scott, this one might go below the World Cup for me because the World Cup at least was different and somewhat memorable.
This one lasted longer, but
it did.
Yeah, I think it goes below because it's basically another slam.
Yeah.
But with a few worse teams who had won big events.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, let's go to what we started with, the PointsBet Invitational started in 2022 as a Sweet 16 style event. It was a bracket that didn't last too long. We eventually got to a more traditional format in the last couple of years. 4 editions of this. It lasted the quad, which is, I assume, what the contract was between Curling Canada and PointsBet, was for the quad. I liked it early on because it invited in the Canadian club champions, the university champions, the college champions, the junior champions into that single elimination tournament. So when they switched it over in 2025 to the pool play, I don't know. I didn't think it was quite as much fun because it dropped like the club champion, like all that. So, I mean, they did introduce the U25 next gen event, which is pretty cool too. But I don't know. I think it lost some of the luster of that, but it also suffered to me of being in September, and I'm not really jonesing to watch a lot of curling in September. So for me, this was a fun idea that if you put it in between Christmas and New Year's, great. Like I'm in. But I think this one really suffered from where it was in the calendar more than
and I think the format, while it was like kind of a cool idea, really suffered from the fact that like it's expensive to go places to curl and to go for one game, even if you're making whatever $1,500, $2,500, it's not really worth it for a lot of the big teams. So you can't really fill out a bracket like that with all the best teams because somebody's going to lose the first game.
Yeah.
And then, so you'd have to make the guarantee bigger. But yeah, I think they also made it drag out for probably longer than it needed to, given that it was an elimination, right? Like you could do it in 2 days.
You could, yeah.
Right. And if they
got to play
that,
30 games in total.
Yeah.
Right?
And if they did that, play it in, because you need like basically you go 16 to 8 to 4.
Yeah.
That's 3 draws.
Yeah.
Right. And then
but both, right?
2.
Like it's 32 total.
Yeah.
Teams.
Yeah. So I mean, what is it? Like 8 draws? 8 draws? 10.
So if you're playing 30 games and you have 4 sheets.
I'm good at math. I did math as a minor. And you want to
keep it separate you want to keep the finals as individual sheet for TV as well. Probably 3 days.
Yeah. Okay. How many games are in a 32 team single elimination tournament?
Why do you have to look that up? You're eliminating, in this case, there's 2 winners, right? So you're eliminating 30 teams. So it's 30 games.
31 games.
No, it's not, because there's 2 winners. There's a men's winner and a women's winner.
Okay. So it's
15 men's games, 15 women's games.
Okay. I did need to look it up, Sean. My brain is overloaded with stuff. All right, let's cut all this.
Yeah. I'm keeping it in.
Sean edits it. He knows he's going to keep it in. Okay. So 30 games.
Yeah.
Let's say you put 5 sheets in.
2 of which are going to be single sheet. So that takes us down to potentially 28 games. That number is divisible by 4. So that's 7 draws. 7 draws plus 2 finals. So 9 TV slots. So 3 days.
There you go. We solved it.
Yeah. And it only took 2 minutes longer than it should. All right, Scott, where do you rank this one?
I mean, I don't think I ever really watched it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think so. So I'd say it goes at the bottom.
Okay, below the Champions Cup. I would put it above the Champions Cup only in the sense that it's different.
And you know what I'll give it, Sean? It wasn't called a cup.
Yes.
So
that's true.
Bonus points.
And they were just giving out cash.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on, Scott, to another cup, the Canada Cup. This event was established in 2003, and the final edition of the Canada Cup was held in 2019. This was held in December every year. All Canadian teams. It was for a long time, and we said it on the show, probably the best event in the world for a while. Because it was all the top Canadian teams coming together, men's and women's. The draw for a long time, the competitive aspect, was the winner got an automatic berth into the trials or the pre-trials in the first year off of the Olympics. So the first year of the quad, it was pre-trials. After that, you had that trials berth at stake. Small field event, usually 8 teams. And they didn't have it in Olympic years. Or Olympic seasons, I should say. Those were replaced by the Olympic curling trials. Overall, Scott, I really like this event. I think it got us some really good curling. There was enough stakes in it that there was a good competitive spirit to it. Overall, I really like this event.
This is easy number one so far of the ones we've talked about, because it was competitive. It was all the best teams in Canada. You talk about the Brier and Scotties, as great as they are, now they get more of those top teams in. Before, when the Canada Cup was going on, you'd get one team from Alberta.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not getting even a Team Canada for most of its run. So, yeah, the Canada Cup was great. You'd get to see all the best. It was sort of the first curling that was on in the season of champions. So, you've spent 6 months not watching curling. Now you've got this on. The teams wore colored uniforms like they do at the trials. So it wasn't like watching a bunch of advertising. I don't know. The uniforms do make a difference to me. Maybe I'm old. Seeing the colors, not necessarily provincial colors, but just like you've got a color.
Yeah.
And one sponsor.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's clean. It looks cleaner.
Yeah, real clean on TV. And so that, I think, was really great. Have we seen the end of it, Sean, with the PointsBet dying? Could we see the Canada Cup return?
You theoretically could. I don't know if the calendar is too busy now to put it on. And I don't know where the money's coming from for it.
The way the slams have taken over. And
yeah. And given that, does Curling Canada, I think it for a while was probably a revenue generator, not a big one, certainly not Brier Scotties.
No.
But I think it probably generated a little bit of revenue, but yeah, I don't know. At this point, there's so much else going on. You have all these other events that you can use to generate your points and your pre-trial spots. Like,
if you take it and schedule it opposite the Euros,
that's the time to do it. Yeah.
That's the week to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
maybe.
And you do it at a smaller site, lower costs.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens.
So the first bunch of years, I want to look, the first from 2003 to 2008. So 1, 2, 3, 6. The first 6 editions were held in Kamloops.
Wow.
Yeah. And always in the West. The furthest east it came was Brandon, Manitoba, which makes sense. Most of the teams are from the West.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's going to be at the top of the list. Here's one that I don't think is going to challenge it. The America's Challenge. This was the way in which you would qualify for the World Championship in the Americas zone. This is before the Pan-Continental took place. So the way it would work is that any team in the zone, in the Americas zone, could challenge the lowest ranked world qualifier for the world spot. So it was always the United States until 2018, when the United States had the auto berth by hosting the World Championship. So then it was Canada. That was the only time. And then 2021, Canada participated as well. So it was often Mexico or Brazil challenging the United States, and the United States and or Canada won in every case. So for the men's side, we had 8 editions of this between 2009 and 2021, 2 times on the women's side. Those took place in 2017 and 2019. Not really that memorable, Scott, but we were there for one of them.
Yeah, we were there for one of them. That it took place concurrently with the aforementioned Continental Cup. And
it was a best of 5, I should know. Best of 5 series.
Yeah. So I think it was kind of cool to be like, Brazil has curling.
Yeah.
And they could just be like, yeah, we're challenging America. And if we win, we get their spot. Like, I do kind of like that in such a small zone.
Right.
This was replaced by the Continental Cup, or not the Continental Cup,
a future item on the
future item on the list. Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool, and it got us the chance to like see Glenn Howard beat the Brazilians.
Yeah.
And we're like, why is Glenn Howard doing this? Okay. Yeah. He lives close. So I put it ahead of the Champions Cup just because it was like kind of quirky and cool, but below the rest.
All right, so that will go below the points bet then and above the Champions Cup. So the America's Challenge slots right in there. All right, Scott, next up, we have the thing that another thing that was replaced as the America's Challenge was by another event that is coming up. That is the Pacific Asia Curling Championship. This event was inaugurated in 1991, lasted 30 years to 2021. This was the world qualifier for the Pacific Asia zone. And it was also, like the Euros, a very competitive, very good event. And this was one that we paid attention to while we were doing the show. If you look at your medals overall in the 30 years of the event, Australia with the most men's medals and the most golds with 19 medals overall. On the women's side, perhaps unsurprisingly, Japan has the most medals there, 28 medals and 15 of the golds. 1 year there was not a women's entry into it, so we only have 29 editions for the women. So Scott, I don't know. I think this one is a real loss for certainly for the region, and as we said, we'll get to the Pan Continental. The replacement of the Pacific Asia Curling Championship for the Pan Continental, I think, didn't work at all. I think was potentially ill-conceived in terms of travel purposes and bringing these two zones together. So yeah, this one's a tough one to think about it not being around anymore.
Yeah, and if I think about it being replaced, probably because Canada wouldn't play in it unless it was in Canada. It does a disservice to all the curling fans in this region who might want to go and support their team. So yeah, big loss. This event, really good. Like, it's got such a long history. It would be like, imagine if the Euros got canceled, which it kind of is, but
it kind of did.
But yeah, like this one is a big loss. The quality was pretty good there, especially I'd say in the last 15 editions. And so big loss. This one goes at the top of the list.
Okay. Top of the list. I think I agree with you.
Would you keep Canada Cup?
I think I watched the Canada Cup more, just time zones and such.
But I think the Pacific Asia is like it's a bigger
loss.
Yeah, bigger loss.
Yeah. All right, Scott. And let's move on then to the thing that replaced it, the Pan Continental Curling Championship. First one held in 2022. Last one held in 2025. This event will not be taking place anymore. As we have talked about on the show, the way in which the teams will be qualified for the World Championship is coming out of the World Championship, and then a last chance qualifier moving forward. So we had 4 editions of the Pan Continental, all of which were held in North America. The last one was held in Minnesota. The other 3 were held in Canada. And so you had, obviously, all the Pacific Asia teams would qualify. You also had, theoretically, Mexico, Brazil could be in this field, but it was tiered with a tier A, tier B. And as we look at it on the men's side, Canada won 3 of those championships, only 1 on the women's side. Kind of interesting, Scott. On the women's side, 4 years, 4 different countries won. Japan, Satsuki Fujisawa first year, Team Kim Eunji in the second year from South Korea, Rachel Homan in year 3, and Wang Rui in 2025.
Yeah, I think those results maybe reflect the amount that Curling Canada really cared about it. I think we did just send the champion,
Yes,
last year's defending champion, to those. I remember Brad Gushu
ripped it.
Yeah, not happy with it. The first year, that was the first year that he went.
First or second year. And actually, I think it was the second year because I think it was the BC year.
Yeah.
The Kelowna year. And that was the 2023 second edition.
Because there was part of it at a curling club, part at the arena. And,
not enough space to prepare and whatnot.
Yeah. And so for that, Sean, and its short life, it goes just above the America's Challenge for me.
All right. So it goes above the America's Challenge, below the PointsBet Invitational Pan Continental Curling. Okay, Scott, let's move on then to, all right, this one I might be cheating a little bit on this. They used to have a Grand Slam season champion, also known as the Pinty's Cup for a while, known as the Rogers Grand Slam Cup for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a season-long point thing that was awarded from 2008, from the 2008-2009 season all the way through the 2022-2023 season. As I said, awarded the full season of events on the Grand Slam Tour. And your defending champions here in the 2022-23 season were Brad Gushu and Carrie Anerson. They no longer award this. It came with a big cash prize as well. I believe 50,000, 75,000. I moved it up to at one point. This one, I don't know if it counts as an event, but they would talk about it a lot on the broadcast. And it was one of those things where, like, you get to the Players' Champion, and golf has had this issue for a while, which they've tried to remedy with their playoffs. You don't have to win the last event to win the whole thing, and which I don't fundamentally have a problem with, because maybe you should reward the whole season. And I understand the logic of it, but it does get awkward to not win the event, but win the overall thing.
I mean, I think you can give an award for the event and an award for the overall thing. And I mean, this is kind of dumb that they stopped doing this. Let's go curling group, bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm putting this at the bottom just because it's not a real event, but it
it
was
the
part of the overall events.
Yeah, I put it at the bottom with a little asterisk. So
okay. All right, Scott, let's go on to another Grand Slam event. The much maligned, the rarely missed Elite 10. This event was established in 2015. Mercifully had its last one in 2018. This one, Scott, the women were only invited once in 2018. Otherwise, it was a men's only event on the Grand Slam circuit for those years. The draw of this one for the Grand Slam is that it was match play. So it was skins rules in how you won, that if you had the hammer 2 or more, and if you didn't, it was a steal. But the problem with the match play versus skins is that it doesn't accumulate. So if you won the first 2 ends and were 2 up, it got really boring really fast. So that was my issue with it. with the match play idea. Again, I've said this on the show before. I don't mind that they tried it. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did in that format because like I said, I didn't make like skins makes it exciting because it builds and you're kind of forced to play interesting ends because at some point someone's going to win all those skins. In match play, you can just play it wide. If you get a lead, play it wide open.
Yeah.
And you're at no risk. Whereas even in like the normal game, okay, you have a 3-point lead, you can play it open, give up a 1, but you're still giving up a point.
Right.
Which in match play, you're just burning an end to no effect.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, you said the women were there in 2018, but was that just Rachel Homan? Because just Rachel Homan played in this event one year with the men.
Okay, no, this the September 2018 edition was won by Anna Hasselberg over Elena Petz.
Okay, so it must have been 2017 because I was living in Victoria, and it was in Victoria.
Okay,
well, it was on the West Shore, and Cam and I went and watched, and everyone was cheering for Rachel Homan. And I remember Brad Gushu was playing her and was basically like, oh, this is weird. Like, they like her better than me. Like, basically, like, usually everyone cheers for me, but not here. So I think some points for that, right? Yeah. For inviting the top women's team into an event.
Yeah. It was the 2016 edition.
Okay.
She played in a pool with Gushu, Reed Carruthers, John Epping, and Charlie Thomas, and she went 1-3. You want to guess who she beat?
John Epping, Brad Gushu, and Charlie Thomas?
Yeah.
John Epping.
No, it was Charlie Thomas.
It was Charlie Thomas. Okay, fair enough. So I think, Sean, for being a little different, for trying things, I'm going to put it ahead of the Pan Continental, the America's Challenge, and the Champions Cup, but I'll put it behind the points bet.
Okay, behind the points bet. I'm fine with that because, yeah, they tried something different. I'm not upset that when people try something different. So I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. So after the Elite 10, Scott, this is an oldie that was brought back ever so briefly throughout the course of the show, throughout the course of the pod. The TSN Skins game started in 1986, single sheet event, and it was off and on for a while. The final version was 2019, the All-Star Skins game, where they mixed up teams. There was a stretch here where they did this at Casino Rama, which was a lot of fun. They also did it out in Banff for a few years with the arena that had the beautiful view of the mountains out there. So it was, the last few years was always mixed up, or they started to mix up the teams in the last few years. It was fun, Scott. I think though the nostalgia for it is those 80s, 90s editions.
Yeah.
With the tracksuit thing and just the
pace setter jackets.
The yellow and the black McCain branding.
The stones. Yeah.
I think that's where the nostalgia is for it. The modern version, I don't think quite had the same, didn't spark the same joy.
Yeah. And there was fewer TV events then.
Yeah.
Right. When that was happening, it was like that and the Briar and the Scotties were like your TV. And then you would get the finals of the Worlds.
Yeah. Really.
So a lot of nostalgia for that. I'm not so mad about it going away just because, like you said, the later editions didn't have as much juice there. I remember it was like in a room where everything was black. It was like,
it was very dark. It was like a TV studio that they somehow put ice into.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, whoa, this isn't an arena. This is just like ice somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it going away is not that sad just because it was losing its appeal and luster. Mixing it up, I liked that the teams were drafted. I thought that was kind of cool, right? Where you'd be like, I'm taking this guy, and then everybody'd be like, what? Oh man. Like you could have had a lot more of that heel turn type situation than what actually happened. But overall, very nostalgic. I think this, I don't know, does it go below the World Cup or ahead of the World Cup? What do you think?
I think it goes ahead of the World Cup for that nostalgia, but I'm okay with putting it below the Continental Cup.
I think so. I think you're right.
Okay. I'll throw
That's
TSM.
I had it in that area. Okay.
All right. Final entry here of the defunct events, Scott. And I'm grouping a few of them here. I'm grouping the Sobeys Slam, the Waden Transportation Ladies Classic, and the Canadians Women's Classic. These were all events. These were all slams on the women's curling tour. So back in the days of the aughts, the slams that have the names that we recognize and some other ones that are defunct as well were men only. And there were then these women's only events that qualified or counted as Grand Slams in terms of counting number of Grand Slam championships and stuff. So I'm grouping all of them together because now the slams are both men's and women. So we don't have these events anymore as slams. Some of them still exist, but not as slams. So I'm going to just sort of broadly group the women's slams as these as sort of the 12th entry onto our list.
Okay. So yeah, given that these have largely been replaced by comparables or bigger events, not as much of a loss for the sport overall. For the places in which these events took place, because I think they were fixed, right? Like the Canadians is in Manitoba somewhere.
Yeah, the Sobeys Slam was always in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. The Waden Transportation, Abbotsford.
Yeah. So for the communities that nurtured women's curling and gave them a place, it's a big loss for them. And
sure,
I'm happy that the women on the tour now like make the same amount of money as the men. Their events are given like same billing. Sometimes they're the second game on Sunday. Sometimes they're the first. Like it's not always the women first.
Yep.
So I think I can't be too sad about these events, but they were important in paving the way to get to where we are now.
Right.
So for that, I don't think we can put them at the bottom of the list.
Sure.
But I'm not sure exactly where to put them.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? I think I might put it or sort of group these ones below points bet, above Elite 10. I think sort of the importance of them, and certainly in terms of like statistically, right? Where you're counting Grand Slams, who is the most they count. So I think that they certainly matter in that respect. I think they're also an important window into the way in which the Grand Slam circuit as we know it today grew and evolved, and that in those early years when it was growing, the women weren't included in these events. And I think that's part of the story of curling and sort of it's been a long push to get to, as you said, the financial equity in the game. And certainly we've seen it, Scotties and Briars now the last few years, slams, but it was probably long overdue, given that the women's games on TV draw big numbers, draw crowds. So, that these events were part of that tour, part of the World Curling Tour, having these slams. I think they're an important landmark and an important event in the history of the sport.
Yeah. So Sean, I think you've convinced me that these should go above the World Cup.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So with that, Scott, we have the 12 events that we have ranked. So to go back, and here is our order. From the bottom, the least memorable, or the one that, it's okay, it's gone, is the season championship for the Grand Slam. Then the Champions Cup Grand Slam event, the America's Challenge, the Pan Continental Curling Championship, the Elite 10. Right above that is the PointsBet Invitational. Then the World Cup of Curling, the single season event. Above that, we have the Women's Slams. Right above that is the TSN Skins Game. And above that, the Continental Cup. The Canada Cup comes in the silver position. And the number one defunct event in the world of curling, the Pacific Asia Curling Championship.
Just like that, Sean, I think this list is perfect. There's no arguments that can be made against it. Yeah, we did it. Yay.
Yeah. All right. Let us know your arguments against it.
Yes. I'm always interested to hear what people think. But I think we've done well. I think we've done well here.
We've done a good job with it. So there you have it. There's our list. But yeah, do let us know if you disagree with it, and do let us know if we missed any events out, which is definitely possible that forgot about some major event that no longer exists. So do let us know, and names of the event don't count. Like if you miss that it's the Labatt Briar, I mean,
you can still call it that.
Yeah, go for it. Or any of the tobacco sponsored events. You
can still smoke cigarettes if you want.
So yeah, but the event itself, not like a change in branding or anything. So the actual event has to have gone away. So let us know if we missed any out. And of course, if you like this, we're coming back. We got stuff through the summer. It's again not going to be every week. Scott might be back with something next week. Who knows? So if you want to hear that or anything else we got going on, please do subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Like, rate, comment, all the good stuff. Helps other people find the show. Keeps us growing. Head on over to GameStonesPod.com. Past episodes there under the episode tab. Plus, link to the merch. We're on the socials at Game of Stones Pod, Game of Stones Podcast on Facebook. And if you want to let us know what you want to hear on the show or complain about this list, Game of Stones Podcast at gmail.com. So there you have it, Scott.
There you got it.
Middle of summer. That's when you do the list. Hashtag clickbait.
Yeah, you got it. This is like the podcast equivalent of a listicle, right?
100%.
Yeah. 15 of your most favorite lines from minor characters on The Office. What? Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah. Love them.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So Sean, I wish you a safe travels.
Thank you.
Safe travels? That was weird. I wanted to ask you, have you thought about going to see Hadestown the musical in theaters?
Thought about it. Can't squeeze it in.
Damn.
Sadly. Damn. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah. I really want to go. I'm not sure I'll have time. Same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 100%.
Yeah, it's gotten really good reviews. And I've seen the show twice, once in New York, once here in Ottawa. Both times very much enjoyed it. The music is really good.
Yeah.
And, not to spoil it, but I mean, it is an ancient story. So, but the moment at the end,
yeah,
people gasp. Like it's going to happen because that's the story. And it's been that story for thousands of years. And
but Sean,
people still gasp. And I'm one of them. I'm like,
yeah.
Like maybe this time,
maybe this time
it won't happen.
Yeah, that's why they sing the song, thinking maybe it will turn out different.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty excited. I will definitely go see it. I'll see it at home once it comes to streaming. I might even buy it, but yeah, I'm like pretty excited.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be only 5 nights, but I've found some daytime screenings out in Canada. So
nice.
We'll see.
There you go. So everybody out there, raise your cup to our pal Orpheus. And maybe it'll turn out better next time.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right. Well, Scott, enjoy your week off. I will try my best to travel safely. And to all you out there, hope you're having a great summer and staying safe with whatever you're doing out there, especially for those folks who've been impacted by the fires. Certainly do stay safe. People, the smoke has been really bad. So hopefully everyone is staying safe while also hopefully having some time for a little R&R over the course of the summer. And with that, we will say thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll be back with you soon. But until then, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.
Make the final.